before he was Hollywood's highest-grossing actor, before the iconic voice, the cool swagger, the unforgettable monologues. Samuel Leroy Jackson was just a stuttering kid in Chattanooga, Tennessee, angry, abandoned, and searching for meaning. His father left when he was a baby. His mother worked multiple jobs to support the family. Raised by his grandparents, young Sam had a speech disorder so severe he could barely finish a sentence without locking up in frustration. But instead of giving up, he found an unlikely solution: swearing. He discovered that certain curse words broke his stutter, allowing his sentences to flow. That raw, unfiltered voice, the one we all know today, wasn't just natural. It was earned, fought for, crafted through pain. In school, Samuel was angry at the world, at his father, at himself, and it almost consumed him. But he found his first spark in an acting class at Morehouse College, not because he wanted to act, but because it was an easy elective. What began as convenience quickly turned into catharsis. He could channel the rage, the trauma, the truth. Acting gave Samuel L. Jackson a voice, one that finally worked. Jackson didn't become famous overnight. In fact, his rise was anything but glamorous. In the 1970s and 80s, he worked in theater and took small film roles. But for decades, he was cast as background characters, addicts, criminals, nameless roles with little depth. What audiences didn't know is that Jackson was battling his own addiction, a real one. Crack cocaine, alcohol, and heroin became part of his routine. His life was spiraling. Even when he landed roles in Do the Right Thing and Coming to America, he'd show up high. His rock bottom came in the early 90s. His wife, actress LaTanya Richardson, and their daughter found him unconscious on the kitchen floor. That was it. He entered rehab, cold, determined. No more excuses. Shortly after, he was cast as a recovering crack addict in Jungle Fever, a role he lived, and he crushed it. That performance wasn't acting, it was release, it was truth. The industry took notice, and then, in 1994, Quentin Tarantino changed everything. He was cast as Jules Winfield in Pulp Fiction, a Bible-quoting philosophical hitman with fury, style, and complexity. The performance? Iconic. Jackson didn't just steal scenes, he burned them into history. He earned an Oscar nomination and exploded into the A-list at the age of 46. That's right. 46 years old. While most stars peak young, Jackson was just beginning. Since Pulp Fiction, Samuel L. Jackson has starred in over 150 films, from Marvel's Nick Fury to Star Wars, Snakes on a Plane, and The Hateful Eight. He's played heroes, villains, mentors, and madmen. But through every role, one thing remains constant: presence. He commands the screen not with volume, but with authenticity. He never pretends, he just becomes. And it's not just about the acting. He's used his platform to speak out about racism, politics, addiction, and justice. He's unapologetically himself. No filters, no fake smiles. He's been married for over 40 years, never afraid to praise his wife as the reason he's still alive, clean and successful. In 2022, he was finally awarded an honorary Academy Award for Lifetime Achievement, long overdue for a man who changed cinema. His greatness isn't accidental. It's built on habits, hard-earned, often forged in fire. These three traits didn't just make Jackson successful, they made him unstoppable. 1. Harnessing pain as power. Jackson didn't escape his past. He used it. Every ounce of anger, shame, and trauma became fuel for performances that felt real because they were. 2. Relentless professionalism. He's never late, always prepared. Known for showing up to set ready to work. No ego, no chaos. As he puts it, I'm not a star, I'm a working actor. 3. Staying true, loudly. He never tried to soften his voice or censor himself for Hollywood. He leaned into what made him different, and it became his superpower. His authenticity opened doors no fake persona ever could. Samuel L. Jackson's spark was born in silence. In a childhood where he couldn't speak freely, in a world that told him he didn't belong, he found rhythm in rebellion. His stutter became his style. His pain became his path. His voice became a symbol of defiance, truth, and survival. He reminds us that greatness isn't about being perfect. It's about being real, about burning so brightly with your own truth that people can't look away even if they tried. From a voiceless boy with a stutter to the commanding voice of modern cinema, Samuel L. Jackson's life is a reminder that greatness doesn't come from perfection, it comes from persistence. His path wasn't smooth, fast, or easy. It was full of detours, demons, and doubt. But every time life knocked him down, he got back up. Not cleaner, not quieter, but truer. There's a story Jackson once shared about being asked to speak to kids at a youth center. One boy raised his hand and said, "How did you get to be you?" Jackson paused, then said, "I stopped lying about who I was, and I started speaking like I meant it." That was it. No rehearsed speech, no motivational fluff, just truth. And that, more than anything, is what defines his legacy. He didn't play a hero. He became one. For anyone who's ever felt behind, silenced, or counted out, Samuel L. Jackson is living proof that your voice, your real voice, isn't something you're given. It's something you fight for, shape, and sharpen until the world has no choice but to listen.